The year 2013 has come and gone, but not without leaving behind good stories of development in all sectors of the economy of the Gateway State. It was indeed another year of great conviction for the people of Ogun State that their choice of Senator Ibikunle Amosun as the governor of the state was well placed. The giant strides recorded in all economic and social sectors in 2013 are the visible pointers to the commitment of the Senator Ibikunle Amosun administration in achieving its mission to rebuild the state. The mission is built around the 5 cardinal programs of his administration, namely affordable qualitative education, efficient healthcare delivery, agricultural production and industrialization, affordable housing and urban renewal, as well as rural and infrastructural development and employment generation. The readiness of all stakeholders such as heads of ministries and parastatals that form the Executive Council of this government to continue from where they stopped in the previous year was subsequently supported by the quick passage of the 2013 budget by the State House of Assembly. This greatly spurred the government into action early enough in the year.
Congratulations. Maturity goes with age. Beyond counting years, maturity goes with responsibility. Responsibility for self, family, and dependents. Responsibility in good governance and purposeful leadership. Your Excellency, happy 56th birthday and many viable returns. New Age Network salutes Your Excellency for dedicated and selfless service. Happy 56 cheers for a deserving icon. Congratulations.
The government of Senator Ibikunle Amosun, through the Ministry of Agriculture, has helped many farmers in the state to turn their dreams into reality in 2013 through its various intervention programs. The first step taken to show its sincerity in promoting industrialization through agricultural production in the state is the increase of the annual budget to this important sector from 8.8 billion naira in 2012 to 10.69 billion naira in 2013. This has gone a long way to facilitate many developmental programs for farmers in the state. The efforts of the ministry towards attracting and partnering other international bodies and organizations to ensure high levels of agricultural production in the state is also a good example of one of the numerous achievements of the Ogun State government in the year under review.
We're working with different farmer groups, be it the umbrella body, All Farmers Association, which is AFAN, cassava growers, rice farmers association, REFAN, or tomato and pepper growers. And reason is we are, as state government, as we're funding, we are also looking to sponsors. We are funding ourselves, but we're also working with donor agencies that will not give money to agriculture. And when they come, they always have focus areas. I will mention the example of the association called IFAD, National Fund for Agric Development. Their focus areas are rice and cassava. So if we've seen that and they've told us we want to pump money along the value chain of rice and cassava, it behoves on us to make sure that our focus stays on those two produce. So we're following our own initiatives.
To further demonstrate the commitment of this administration towards boosting the agricultural potential of the Gateway State, the government has completed the construction of the Owowo Farm Settlement in Ifo local government area. The visitation of the State House Committee on Budget Monitoring in October 2013 to some areas where projects of this ministry were carried out revealed that this administration meant every word of its promise to deliver the dividends of democracy to the people of Ogun State in the agricultural sector. Among the areas visited were the completed Owowo Farm Settlement, the Igwa Rice and Maize Farm, as well as the greenhouse in the Kotopo area of Abeokuta, which was near completion. The creation of state farms was also one of the outstanding achievements of the Ogun State government in the agricultural sector in 2013. This goes in line with the agricultural development in the state, which also aims at food production for both local consumption and for export. Selected food and cash crops were thus given priority in the state. One such farm is the 100-hectare rice enclave in Igwa, where the state government cleared the land and gave farmers the opportunity to cultivate the crop. The plan of the government is to build a processing plant so that rice can be processed, bagged and exported out of the state.
Ultimately, our intention is to explore the entire value chain of rice. That's up to processing and packaging. We will have a factory, maybe closer to the main road where we turned off, just so that that is visible. And it is the rice from here, from this enclave, that will feed that factory. So we will process that rice all the way to packaging, boxed and labeled Ogun State for purchasers. And then from here we'll move them to different supermarkets and stores. We'll have people, we know that some people will even export this. Because everywhere you travel to these days, you find out that people don't want to miss home too much. So Ofada rice is on the shelves because ultimately our target is Ofada. But Ofada has a longer gestation period. Today we're planting Erica 8, which fruits in 3 months. But Ofada is 5 months each. So we're going to have 2 cycles every year. And like I said, the factory will be located right here as well, so that it's the whole value chain, the entire thing takes place here.
Various efforts of the Senator Ibikunya Musun-led administration in the year 2013 towards improving agricultural production in the state was also targeted at meeting the raw material needs of the numerous industries operating within the state. To this end, both food and cash crops were produced in abundance by the farmers, as they were supported and encouraged by the state government.
We already have people that are interested. There are a number of rice processing factories who have to go sometimes all the way up north to get their paddies. So we have off-takers. We already promised the farmers, and that's why our responsibility, as you've seen, was to clear, to plow. We brought them in to do the planting. They would tend to the rice, and then when it's time to harvest, we off-take their produce from them.
Furthermore, in order to ensure that farmers gainfully enjoy the fruits of their labor, the Ministry of Agriculture started the construction of a farmers' market at Ashero in Abeokuta. This was to enable them have direct contact with potential customers. The market is expected to be completed early this year, as the construction has reached a commendable stage.
The key aim is to minimize wastages. We've realized that over time, when our farmers, especially our fish farmers, after sales each day, they have nowhere to store what is left, and their only choice is to take their fish to the kilns and have them smoked. Not a lot of people like smoked fish. A lot of people like fresh fish and they enjoy it. That's one. We realize that. So our aim is, when we bring this here, first we'll enjoy a lot more patronage, and secondly, we eliminate middlemen. These people are able to sell their fishes at more competitive rates because there will be scales. They'll put them on scales and people can see what they're buying. Secondly, we're engaging in a lot of production at the moment. Rice, tomatoes. This will be an outlet for those things to be sold. And it is not only fish being produced from our own fish farms in Odeda, Ilaro, that we'll bring here. It would also be fish from different fish farmers who are interested in coming to showcase their products.
One of the major focuses of this administration is the urbanization of the rural areas in the state, in a bid to open up villages for development. The government of Senator Ibikunya Musun has invested so much in its quest to achieve this goal by grading and rehabilitating rural roads. This the government is doing by also ensuring that most of these roads equally benefit from the complements of the Ogun standard roads, such as drainage, medians, and bus stops.
All of those our works, I think gradually we will organize them, and the best way to do it is to use our God-given resources, and that is agriculture that will lead us to industrialization.
The Ministry for Rural Development in Ogun State is also ensuring that certain basic necessities and the needs of rural people are provided for in their villages and settlements. This is to further prevent rural-urban drift, since the social amenities they seek in the towns and cities are now being provided.
We want to open up the rural areas to development, and so also in other places we are trying to open up everywhere. So the urbanization of the rural areas is also meant to curb the rural-urban drift. You see, to curb people running from the rural areas to the urban areas looking for this and that. But once they know what they want, once they know what you enjoy at Abeokuta, at Ijebu, at Shagamu, Adeodo, etc., are also available in their villages. So they don't go. So that is why we are trying to do this, and we've been able to achieve a lot through that.
The government ensured that the basic and essential commodities that form the immediate daily needs of the rural communities were provided within their reach. This step brought smiles to the faces of the rural dwellers across the 20 local government areas of the state in 2013.
We were able to do a lot of things in the areas of rural education, rural water supply, drilling of boreholes, and particularly solar boreholes, and opening up of rural roads, grading of roads, etc. We have been able to do a lot of that during the outgone to 2013.
The Ministry for Rural Development went a step further last year in its efforts to provide potable water for the people in the local communities. This was what brought about the idea of the water project called Omilero, being an initiative conceived and sponsored by this ministry.
Concerning Omilero, we went to different rural parts and we saw that waterborne disease was a bit high in some areas. How can we help in that area? We ordered these ceramic pots from Ghana. They actually filter the dirt from the water. So every rural home can actually have this pot. But for now, we don't have enough for every rural home in Ogun State. So we're going to make sure we distribute to the places where they actually have waterborne disease, the highest rate of waterborne disease. Those ones will take the a higher number of pots. They might be divided, maybe they'll put it outside and we'll do a little shed for it, that they would, maybe 2-3 houses would have the pots amongst them. So everybody can have access to clean, healthy water.
The Commissioner for Rural Development, Alhaji Falilu Sabitu, further speaks on the mechanisms designed by the ministry to distribute the ceramic water pot amongst its numerous beneficiaries in the 20 local government areas of the state.
Although we want to give these pots to all the 20 local governments, but we know what places we are going to give them to. We are doing it in collaboration with the local governments and other MDAs. So we know which places they should go through the needs assessment we have done.
Also worthy of note is the collaboration between the Ministry for Rural Development, the Ministry of Agriculture, and the African Agricultural Technical Foundation based in Kenya. One of the objectives of the union between the Ogun State government and the African Foundation was to design ways of optimizing the agricultural potential of the 50 hectares of cassava farmland in Odogbolu local government area of the state. The Special Advisor to the Governor on Rural Development, Mrs. Bisi Ogunshola, speaks on the importance of the collaboration between the Ogun State government and the African Agricultural Technical Foundation.
AATF came on board. AATF cleared the ground with help from PlantGate, because they came in, they made sure that they paid PlantGate to clear the land. The local government joined us as well in clearing. So they cleared the ground. They now brought in a cassava planter. The cassava planter is a machine that plants a hectare of cassava roughly in about 45 minutes. It's a wonder. It actually divides the stem into equal parts, and it opens the ground, puts the stem inside the ground, pours in the fertilizer and covers it, and it moves on. So what you'd have 20-30 people doing in 3 weeks can actually be done in a week.
Furthermore, the empowerment of local farmers in the state saw the Ministry for Rural Development and the African Agricultural Technical Foundation handing over 30 hectares of cassava farmland to farmers at Eyumi village in November 2013. This was meant to boost the cultivation of cassava as well as helping local farmers to increase their food production potentials across the state.
So we are trying to empower the rural populace so that what they are doing at the rural areas, they will continue to do. They don't migrate to the urban centers. So that is the essence of this empowerment we are trying to do for them.
The Senator Ibikunle Amosun-led government, through its various ministries, agencies and parastatals, have already drawn up new plans of action for more people-oriented projects to be carried out in 2014. To this end, the 2014 budget has already been signed into law, and work has begun in earnest under the different ministries to consolidate the achievements of the year 2013 in the various sectors. The support and goodwill of the good people of Ogun State is what the government seeks from the citizenry for better performance in 2014. Though the year 2013 is already behind us, the promise of the Senator Ibikunle Amosun-led administration in Ogun State has been a promise well kept. This, no doubt, has made last year to be a year of fulfillment for farmers and other people in the rural areas of the state. Many of them believe they cannot thank the governor enough. They continue to show their appreciation and gratitude to the government of the day with their fervent prayers for a successful tenure.
Gọ́vùnà yìí ṣe láàrírí láti gba ayé Action Group àti ẹgbẹ́ ọlọ́pẹ́ láti ń bàbọ̀ tó níṣẹ́ ló jẹ́ pé irú àǹfààní àwọn bàbá tó bí wa wọn ò rí àwọn náà ni wọ́n jìyà pátì àwọn adúgbòdò Ọlọ́run pé nígbà tó tó àsìkò Ọlọ́run gbàkóso Ọlọ́run yan ẹni tiwa fún wa òun náà ni Ìbíkúnlé Amosun gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn tí nǹkan ò ní bàjẹ́ láéláé tí orí ọmọ adé sí tí ò ní dínkù tó ń gbé ògo gbogbo ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn tó ń gbé yọ sí wa.
Ọlọ́run ṣeun torí omi tí wọ́n fún wa yìí ó jẹ́ nǹkan tó yà wá lẹ́nu gidi torí tẹ́lẹ̀ kò sí omi odò láàmú odò àfọwọ́gbẹ́dẹ̀ ni tẹ́ pé àwọn máa dì sún ní tó bá ti pọ̀ kan láàárọ̀ ó tún di lálẹ́ kó tó pọ̀n mi mọ̀ṣá àgbà tí wọ́n wá ṣe omi fún wa inú wa dùn gidigidi àwọn náà wá ṣe ládùúrà fún wọn pé Ọlọ́run bá a máa ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ ànímọ́ ní pèrègùn ńláṣọ ànímọ́ ní gbòòrè wọn máa lé sí.
Maturity goes with age. Beyond counting years, maturity goes with responsibility. Responsibility for self, family, and dependents. Responsibility in good governance and purposeful leadership. Your Excellency, happy 56th birthday and many viable returns. New Age Network salutes Your Excellency for dedicated and selfless service. Happy 56 cheers for a deserving icon.
Congratulations.
Armed Forces Remembrance Day is a memorial day first set aside to remember soldiers who lost their lives during the First and Second World Wars, but has now been extended to include all servicemen who died in the service of their fatherland. It was first celebrated by the Commonwealth countries, which Nigeria is part of. Ogun State is not left out in this annual remembrance event. Prior to the event, the leadership of the Nigerian Legion, led by its chairman, Ogun State Chapter, Major General Sunday Oshunsi, retired, paid a courtesy visit to Governor Ibikunle Amosun in his office. In his response, Governor Amosun thanked the Nigerian Legion for honoring him with such a visit. He then told his guests of his government's regard for the heroes.
For us as a government and for me as the government, it is very, it is more than just a government. It is a way of saying thank you to those that have paid the great price for our duty there as a nation. Indeed, so many of them fought in the World Wars, the First World War, the Second World War, even our own Civil War, and so many of them paid the price because of laying their life for what we will now together enjoy and say that we are a nation.
When he turned to the serving soldiers, Senator Amosun said,
Let me use this opportunity to thank those that are now in active service, and those are our service youth. We want to thank you and commend you for all your efforts, and we still seek for your continued hard work, not just for us as a state, but for the entire nation, because all our forces, all our security operatives, they every day they run out to make sure that Nigeria as a nation, we are united and that we are secured, we are protected, because without all of those being there, we cannot develop as a nation, we cannot grow as a nation.
Major General Sunday Oshunsi retired, decorated the governor, the deputy governor, the commander of the 35 Artillery, the commissioner of police, and other members of the cabinet with this year's remembrance emblem. The Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration and launching of the 2014 emblem proper took place at the Arcade Ground in Abeokuta. Governor Amosun then inspected the Guard of Honor as the reviewing officer.
Continue to do and perfect. And in Dance Nigeria Navy Secondary School, Abeokuta, the Commissioner of Police, while the color party is in the parade, being carried by the senior and
Immediately after, Muslim and Christian prayers followed.
for this day. This is the day that we recall.
After prayers had been said for the repose of the souls of the fallen heroes, the governor led the military and police commanders, and of course the Ogun State chairman of the Nigerian Legion, as well as traditional rulers, to lay a wreath on the tomb of the unknown soldier. The symbolic release of pigeons signifying peace then took place. For comments, questions and observations, send a text to 080-9578-9802 or 081-0672-1434, or send an email to missiontorebuild@gmail.com. Be a part of rebuilding our beloved Gateway State.
Ọmọ Ògùn Ìṣẹ̀yà.